Okay, you're comfortable?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome, everyone. We are on episode 5. Do you believe 5 moms have came on my podcast and shared their amazing stories? But you're not going to want to miss this one. Denise has a lot to share, and she wants to bring awareness to a lot of women with the situation she had to go through with her and her daughter. And before we kind of start with, intruding into your personal space, can you just share with us a little bit about who you are as an individual and some of the things that you like to do outside of being a mom?
Outside of it being a mom, I've been a mom for 22 years, almost 23. And let me say it never stops.
Yeah.
18, it never stops.
Right.
Or whatever, actually just beginning. But as a person I'm more of a caretaker.
Okay.
Or whatever. So whatever that may be, it's just not dedicated to one need. It's just whatever I can do to help someone. That's what fulfills me. It's just helping people,
taking care of people.
Taking care of people. Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah. Any type of hobbies that you're into?
I like doing hair.
You like doing hair?
Very therapeutic to me.
Wow.
And I like. I'm a history buff. Yeah, I'm a history buff.
Okay, so you like not the newfound history, but the actual history that people tend to miss out on.
The hidden history.
Yes. I love that.
History.
Love that. The hidden history. Mm-hmm. So did you do your own hair?
Yes, I do.
Oh, well, look at her. Get her some clients over here.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a lot to talk about, and I'm glad that you're open. And again, if you feel like something is triggering or you don't want to answer it, you don't have to.
No, I'm past those
Okay. All right. That's good. So what age was you when you first had your daughter?
18.
You were 18 years old.
I was 18. I was actually on my own since I was 15.
Wow.
And I prayed for God to give me somebody to love and somebody to love me back. So and I was pregnant like a month later. People don't even, and I asked for a girl and it was a girl.
Oh, wow.
So she was a gift.
Were you happy? What type of emotions did you experience finding out that you were pregnant?
I knew it because my body felt funny.
Okay.
So I'm the type of person that listens to my body. I'm like, someone's funny. And then I went to the hospital. It was like, yeah, they confirmed it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So to be 18 and you say you've been on your own since you was 15. Was it scary for you to like, oh my God, I'm pregnant?
No.
Okay.
It was natural because
nice.
I grew up with 8. Well, my mom had 8 kids. My dad had 8. They had 5 together. So I was already trained on caretaking.
Oh, okay.
I'm the oldest.
I was ready to ask that. You had to be the oldest.
Yeah, I was the oldest. Yeah, so it was second nature.
Wow. You really grow beyond your years when you are the oldest child and you have to take care of your siblings and kind of be there for them.
Yeah, you miss out on childhood. Yeah.
So you do. I was ready to ask you that. How do you think your childhood was, being that you lived in a house with, was it 8 kids or was it just
8
with 7 other children? Do you feel like you got the love that you deserved as a kid?
No, I didn't. And that was something that really bothered me throughout my life. But when I was, I had a child of my own, I put those issues to the side.
Yeah.
I always put myself to the side to put my child first. So it wasn't a very loving home, I ain't gonna lie about that.
Yeah.
And it was I had a young mom, so we come from traumatic backgrounds, so I think we all missing a little bit of stuff. And if you don't go reach out to try to fix the issues still exist. But as I grow older, I actually just coming to peace with that actually a couple years ago. Not so long ago. Yeah.
Is your mom still alive?
Yeah. Okay. We have a good relationship now.
That's good.
And
That's good.
I grew more understanding as I got older as a parent.
Right.
And grow to know we all make mistakes.
Right.
Just in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Did you find it easier to forgive your mom once you had a child and you started seeing, oh, my daughter is making these type of mistakes, or my daughter is doing this?
It was different.
Okay.
some of the things you experience that you didn't understand as a child, you definitely experience it. One, I remember I had this overwhelming sense of like, I'm sorry, Mom. Like it was so hard being a parent. I think at that time she was like 10. I was like, this is so hard, and then I say, oh my God, like, and I realized like this is 1. And I was like, my mom got 8. Like, oh my God, no wonder she was nuts. So a little companion, that came
some
in.
Empathy.
Yeah,
some
empathy definitely came in. Yeah. So
is this your only child? Okay.
Only child.
Do you want any more?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but more so no. Yeah, especially after I was more like, we all were looking for something to fulfill ourselves. Yeah. To fulfill and something like that. So I was like, give me something to do. Because I know when she turned 18, I had like empty nest syndrome. It was bad because I'm like, what do I do with myself now? Yeah. I was a mom and it was bad at first, but I was left with myself. So because
it's just been you and her for so long.
Yeah. Right. And you distract I'm the type of person, I was using other people to distract myself from my issues, because as long as I was dealing with somebody else's drama, I ain't have to deal with my drama.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And sometimes we don't even know that we do this stuff. Yeah. Until we just take a step back and evaluate, hey, I'm in a lot of shit right now.
Yeah. Up to you. Yeah. Up to you. And you don't know what direction to take. Yeah. But the thing I can say positive about my mom, she was always gun-ho for therapy and therapy, very religious, right, or whatever. That definitely came in. Actually, that would save my life. So numerous amounts of time. Yeah. And that, and just counseling and therapy and stuff like that.
Making sure, because she kind of knew, like, oh, it's 8 of y'all. Yeah. So I know I've made mistakes.
And it's very taboo. Yeah. In the Black community. They, right. Our business is our business. Yeah. Like, not hate, but a secret household. Like secret,
right. Where you feel like your kids can't get the help that they deserve because you don't want white people in your business. Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely get it. So when did because you mentioned, and you don't mind me bringing this up, right? Okay. You mentioned that your ex-husband molested your daughter. Ex-fiance molested your daughter. That is a lot. Yeah. That is a lot. And I'm so sorry that you and your daughter had to go through that. Yeah. When did he come in the picture?
When she was 5.
When she was 5 years old. Yeah. And y'all been together since?
Yeah, she was 5 to 13. She was 13.
Wow. So he molested her when she was 13?
It started when she was 7.
It started when she was 7.
And he was fondling her, and he told her something they're supposed to have been doing. Okay. And my daughter, she was, as all kids, they believe what adults say. Right, right. So and this the thing is, so me being sober, I didn't let my daughter go outside. She was 5 years old. I even though I had 8 sisters, no one can keep my child. Right. My friends used to make jokes like, this girl growing up with the walls. And I'm like, and I was based on low income. I was living in the project. So I'm like, the walls it will be. Yeah. Me and the walls. And she was very advanced because I went to Dollar Tree back in the day, and I'm just like, we're going to just do education.
Okay, you kind of homeschooled her for a little bit.
Home everything. So she was very intelligent. Wow. Very. When she started school, they was like, somebody been working with this child at home. And I'm like, me.
Kudos to you. Yeah. That's amazing. We don't have enough moms that take the time to be able to get to learn and know their children like that. Yeah. So you said this started when she was 7 up until 13. But first I want to know, is he in prison?
No.
He's not in prison?
No, he's not. No,
why is that?
Let's say, let me rewind back. I started noticing changes in my daughter at 10. Okay. So I definitely want to tell all the mothers out here or whatever. Yeah. I wasn't familiar with molestation or in the house, so I didn't know what to look for. Right. All I knew was my daughter, something was wrong with my daughter, because I know my daughter. Yeah. We're like this.
And you homeschool her.
Yeah. And we're like thick as thieves. So any difference in her behavior, mannerisms, anything I could see. So I noticed that she was basically into her body. You know, she would take pictures, and I'm like, that's not appropriate. And then I seen her looking at on Facebook, linking up with guys, and I'm like, this ain't normal, because usually for me, you have like one crush or whatever case may be, but like talking to multiple, you know, guys.
So she came into those hypersexual.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
She was experiencing it. And I took her, and it was so crazy because I was like on a desperate, I was into business. I've always been like an entrepreneur type person.
Okay.
And I stopped everything and was like, something is wrong with my child. And until I found out my child, I have to stop everything.
Yeah.
You know, and that's cut my finances substantially.
Yeah.
And I know I had issues with him, you know, but that never coincided because I was always in the house.
Yes.
Everything I did was catered to being a mother and making money. So when I was doing hair or whatever case may be, I was there in the house all day long.
Right, right.
And he had to be some type of professional because there was no signs of that. And and to come back at it, I even took her to counselors and like check my daughter, make sure, whatever case may be.
And she didn't say nothing.
Nope, she didn't say nothing.
How did you end up finding out?
Fast forward, she was with me or whatever case may be, and I forget, it was Mother's Day.
Okay.
This year will be 10 years since I found out. So it was Mother's Day and day before Mother's Day, and I was coming closer. I had prayed. I was exhausted from trying to figure out and trying to prevent, you know, her from, you know, becoming, you know, getting into sex and stuff like that. So when I woke up one morning, and she always had my phone. Like I went to greater screens to keep her from Facebook, social media, whatever, locking. You know, kids, it's easy for them to do it.
Right.
So I seen a message, and I found out like she had sex through the message. But that particular time, I'm usually a yeller. But God said, don't say nothing.
Right. Okay.
And I looked and I seen, and that morning I was like, and it had been 3 years. From 10, she was 13.
Okay.
And it had been 3 years, and I said, God, like I prayed that prayer this morning before I went to work. I was like, I'm tired. Yeah. You know, like, you know, after I found out, and I'm tired and I'm scared or whatever. Yeah. You know, and I was like, please reveal to me, you know, like why? And I asked why.
Yeah.
For 3 years. And that night I came home, her counselor came, and I was on the phone with my sister, and I was just like, I don't understand. Like, and I went through extreme amounts for the research. I was on the computer researching why would kids be extra active
because you wanted to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a concern.
Yeah, it was a concern. And at RBH, I even had her tested for psychological tests. I'm like, check her head, you know, see what's,
check her
and they like, no, nothing's wrong with her. It's just regular teenage stuff. And they're professionals.
Do you think he told her not to tell you?
Yeah, I found out she was threatened.
Okay.
She said as he started penetrating her at 10, and that's when she had went, you know, like and she went up in Google, and she said, "Are kids supposed to have sex with their stepfathers?" And they said no. So that's what the behavior came in. She said she did, and he was threatening her, so she started being violent towards me. And she said, when I found out later, she said the reason why is because I wasn't figuring it out. Yeah, you know, but she wasn't saying anything. Yeah, she was just like, figure it out, you know, without her saying nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was.
When you found out that he did that to her, what was your next approach like to him? Like, did you say anything to him, or did you like just put him out? How did the conversation go about between you and him?
Man, like if you would let me say, I thank God for. People would say they're in that situation till they react. So he was in the house at the time when she told me. She wrote a letter because she was a letter writer, and I remember it. It was a green marker, and she was just like, I was like, she heard me talking to my sister, and I was talking to my sister on 3. I was like, I don't understand. I didn't try this or whatever. So she came and brought me a letter, and she was like, here. And my sister was like, what's she trying to give you? I was like, a letter, but I don't want to hear it. You know, kids write those apology letters. Or whatever. And she was like, no, Mom, read this. And I was just like, get out of my face. And my sister was like, just read it. And I opened it up, and she was like, Ma, I just wanted to let you know that he's been, you know, touching on me for the last 6 years. And when I said that my soul left my body and there was no strength, I dropped to my knees, and my first words were like, it's my fault. And at that particular time, she didn't even break down. She was consoling me because I was like, she said, "No, Mom, it's not your fault," or whatever. And he came up the steps because he heard me like screaming, and like I was pushing it. He was just like, "What's going on?" Like, I wouldn't dare do nothing to hurt you or your mom or whatever. And I'm like, "Just get out of it." She was like, she was passionate. She was like, "Tell her the truth. Tell her." And I knew what she was saying was true. So I called her dad. Like my mind just was. I called her dad. He was like, "Call the police." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right." And I called the police, but he left. Thank God, he didn't do nothing to us or whatever. Right. But I was pushing the door. He was pushing it, and she was pushing it. But I was on my knees, just trying to push it. I could have had like a little teeny bit strength. So, and it was from that night. I remember bits and pieces because it was a total blackout.
Right. Yeah. Wow, that had to be devastating to read a note of your daughter saying that your ex-fiance was molesting her for 6 years. And you didn't see no signs in him of...
Girl, I'm telling you, I wasn't... I knew what was wrong with her. Yeah. But it never... Like, afterwards, I started pinning things together. Yeah. But they wasn't obvious things. Right. Because she never showed any hatred towards him. It was always like... And I learned out later, like, it becomes normal to them when it becomes... happened for so many years. Right. It's like a normalization. But she did not hate him. She didn't hate him.
Do you think him doing that to her opened up a whole nother world for her to be, getting, like you said, getting into other boys, and it became, she started exposing herself to just different things that you wasn't even training her up to do.
Yeah. And I had a hard time with that because I learned, I was brought up in a household that you get married and you stay with one kid and one man and don't let your kids see running in and out. But that's
bull.
Bull. Look at the background checks and look at it. Doesn't have a look to it. He was actually very handsome.
Where did you meet him at?
I met him through a friend on a fishing trip. Okay. Everything was just so shocking because I don't deal with the dudes. I like squares. Job, go to job every day or whatever. Good background, criminal hatchet.
The Russell Simmons type.
Exactly. the world. This is what and I'm just like, I should punch y'all in the face, my ancestors. What I'm saying? Because that was not the case. That's not the case. That's not the case. And the whole time I was unhappy with him, but I was thought that I was. She had a father. Her father. Right. And I was in love with the idea that maybe we could get this together, but he wasn't interested.
What made you unhappy with him?
He was always jealous. It was like we wasn't on the same team. We was on different teams. Yeah. And I'm just like, why are you so against me? And he would try to get around people and humiliate me or whatever. And it was no love. It was barely even intercourse.
Wow. But and you felt like for the sake of your daughter, you wanted to work it out.
A stable, get a stable household. Because it wasn't bad, it wasn't bad. It was just more like, maybe we young, we need to fix our issues. He got issues, I have issues, whatever the case may be. Yeah. So maybe,
And how old were y'all when y'all both decided to, when he proposed?
That's the gag right there. Or whatever.
That's proposed.
The big clue. No.
No
way. No. Actually, I got tired and I was ready to leave him. And I actually left and I warned my sister. And then that's when he came with the ring. He couldn't let me go. So out of desperation. Right. Which his brother thinks that, he really actually did love me. Yeah. In his own type of screwed up way.
Exactly. The way he know how to love.
The way he knew how to love. How he was raised. Right. But
does any of his... I'm sorry, go ahead.
He couldn't let me go, like with that secret.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Does any of his family know that he did this to your daughter?
Yeah. Not so much because they come from the household. So
they're one of those that want to keep quiet about some of the stuff that
There.
Wow.
Don't tell your business. Don't tell anything. And actually, I believe he was molested very strongly. He was, because when we was in the bed, he would hate for me to put my arm around him like a cuddle, and that he was startled. And I said, "Why you doing that?" or whatever. He was like, "Because if someone," he said, "something happened to me if I was little, and if I could trust you, I'd tell you more."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. So, that's the start.
Yeah.
That's the start of knowing that someone has some traumas that they did not work through, and their parents did not take the proper caution to get them help. And these are signs that we see, but we sometimes ignore because we love people and we see the potential and where this could possibly go.
A lot of parents is so hard for them to deal with different issues that they just ignore them.
Yeah.
And I'm not that type of parent, because I really don't like walking away from an argument without solving.
Yeah.
I want to solve the issue. Yeah. What's going on? Let's get an understanding. Let's try to fix stuff.
Yeah. You want to say something?
Yeah. I think sometimes, like, a lot of people don't speak out because, like, far as being molested. Because I was molested from the time I was 4 years old to the time I was like 12 years old by my mama's boyfriend.
I'm sorry to hear that.
When I spoke out about it to my mom, it was on something like she didn't believe me type stuff. Until my grandma actually took me to the hospital and seen that
it happened.
Being penetrated from the time I was 4 to 7.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And at first I thought maybe that was the case with your situation. Like maybe your daughter told you, but you didn't really believe her.
Oh, no.
But the whole time it was like she was hiding it. She wasn't really, she didn't feel safe. She wasn't hiding it. She just didn't feel safe with sharing that.
She didn't.
And this is a learning lesson. Your kids tell you something like this, believe them. Because honestly, they don't have a reason to make up a reason for somebody touching on them or penetrating them in negative ways. Believe your children when they tell you that something is going on and start getting them help immediately. So how is your daughter now?
She let me tell you something. First, they have to be reprogrammed.
Yeah.
Because and this is a very slow, tedious process.
It is.
Because you have to be reprogrammed, because everything that you thought was right is wrong.
Yeah.
And everything you thought was wrong is right. So she had to get an understanding of everything all over again.
Yeah.
What is love or whatever. She thought that I wasn't showing her love. She didn't know what it meant. So I had to explain to her, and it was so crazy because I'm like, we go out and we spend time together and all that stuff. And it was like, she doesn't love me. And I'm like, that do mean when I go out and spend time with you, that is love. That's love.
This situation messed up how she views what love is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's very violent. She turned victimized. She victimizes the world.
Oh.
Yeah.
How are you handling her going through these emotions?
And let me first start off by I didn't do things the right way for whining it. Because people thought when I did, I was on another show or whatever with Girl to Gospel, because it was just so, it had to be out of a Hollywood movie. Everybody around me knew it. Like, no, this couldn't be like this type of, nobody. My house stayed full. And a lot of trauma came to me after the fact. But let me just say that at first I was attacked by the court system or whatever. Now, imagine you going and telling these people something's wrong with my child.
Yeah.
And those same people, when you come forward and say, find out what happened, I call the police, they turned it around on me. And, so,
and trying to make it seem like you were wrong?
Absolutely. It was me. It was the guardian litem. They drill you or whatever.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is crazy because, and they took my daughter away from me.
CPS?
No, her father at the hospital. Okay. They took her, and being that we didn't have custody, or whatever case may be, they just gave it to her. And I'm just like, wow. I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, what did I do?
Yeah.
So at the time, it was like, it was just like, how is it my fault now?
Right.
So I know I wrote him from jail. I called the police. They called him like a couple of days later. Yeah. And I wrote him from to jail. And I say, if you did this or whatever, I forgive you instantly or whatever. Because I didn't want to carry that burden of that I had for my mom. Yeah. Of, so many years. And I didn't want it to consume my daughter with that. So forgiveness was my number one. Right. Now, it was a whole lot of layers of forgiveness. Yeah. But I really didn't want him to be guilty because I felt like that would have made me guilty. So they were attacking me. So
because you didn't go through with it.
Yeah. No, I did go through with it. Yeah. But I was just like, gather up your own evidence because now y'all attacking me and I'm innocent. Right. So this is crazy. Yeah. Like I came to y'all and said,
I've been through trauma and and you're going to add more trauma on top of what I've already been through.
You just don't know. Like, of course, my first step, call the police. And that's what I did. But the processing, fact, I had to get like, and I had to tell my daughter she was upset. And I said, it's not because I was taking his side or whatever the case may be, because I didn't take his side. I called the police. I didn't want it to be my fault. Yeah. I didn't want it to be true. Not that I didn't want it to be true because I was in love with a man or whatever. Yeah. I didn't want it to be true because I didn't want to believe that my daughter had to go through something like that. Yeah, because I felt like it would have been, it's my fault for bringing him into our lives. Yeah, yeah. So that was another thing. But eventually, I figured out, she was telling the truth. I know she was telling the truth by the facts that she gave. It was certain facts that nobody could have known unless they had intercourse with him.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Wow.
And I was in the house the whole time.
So did she say when he did that?
When I was doing hair. What? So when I did hair from sun up to sundown, just trying to provide for her. So now I refuse to get I have a trauma with upstairs and downstairs. Oh, okay. I don't get upstairs and downstairs. I have to see my whole house.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you have a 1-level house now.
Yeah, always. Ever since then, I had a 1-level house. Wow. So I can see my whole house. Yeah. Wow. And I haven't been in a relationship since then. Right. Because I had a guy that he was special, but we wasn't in a relationship, was a friend. He was the only one I trusted, but I haven't got to the point where I'll be in a relationship because I can't trust somebody around my head, around my head, and creeping around my head. Yeah. It's spooky.
It's going to take, how long has it been since you've been in a relationship now?
Since him.
And this has been over 5 years?
10.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't trust nobody like that no more.
You can't.
You know.
It's hard.
Yeah. It's very hard. Yeah. Or whatever. But I do have somebody now that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you deserve it.
Very authentic. Yeah. And I didn't meet him in a per se Prince Charming type of way. Yeah. It's ironic when you meet people.
You think he charmed you?
No, he didn't.
Okay. Not this guy.
No.
The ex.
Oh yeah, he was a gift giver. He was a gift giver. His family was well off and he was a gift giver. Or whatever. Wow. Bought me cars, jewelry, cars, family, well off.
Now that you've been in a situation like that, do you think a man that's a gift giver is a red flag?
Absolutely. Especially when it comes to your kids. Now, let me tell you what I ciphered from that relationship with him. He was let's go to the store type of guy, Yeah. And he took up for her everything she did. She can go and set a fire in front of his face and he'd be like, it wasn't her fault. Or whatever. And that was you watch out for. Just being very overprotective. Yeah. And he wasn't her dad. But he didn't financially support her. Everything she did, I did it for her.
Oh wow.
Of course he helped with the bills in the house, but as far as like, hey, give her here's some money, go shopping for her, get some clothes and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Wow. It was never that. It was always, and I'm in church, so I ain't no people play with God like that. And we went to church every Sunday. It was like the American family, the dogs and the house.
This man went to church, and the whole time he was a child molester.
Church. Wow. Even marriage counseling at church.
the things the guys would do to try to trick you into thinking that they are good, wholesome men.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he did have an alcohol problem, but I'm thinking that,
Yeah. Right. You're not really thinking anything of it at the time. Yeah. I mean, you're young, you're in love, then you fall out of love. And I think you probably started noticing a little bit more when you was like, I don't really love this person no more. And what was it that made you fall out of love with him? It was just, y'all were different?
Just the way he treated me.
Yeah, you did.
He treated me like he hated me.
The jealousy, you did mention that. Yeah.
Like every accomplishment I get, because if you one accomplishment for me is accomplishment for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he looked like it's a competition. Yeah. And he would try to minimize that thing. When I went to college, I got my GED. Yeah, you barely passed it. Or it was a different, it was emotional abuse. And that's the worst one.
Yeah.
Because I have been in physical abuse. Like you, emotional and mentally abusive is the most harsh kind of abuse ever.
It is. It really is.
It is. It's
and
harsh.
They know exactly what they're doing because they try to break you down.
Yeah.
They really try to break you down. Wow. You also mentioned that this took a toll on your mental health. Of course, of course. And not only just your mental health, but your health period. Like, did you have any type of illnesses because of this? Like, were you hospitalized?
I gained like 70 pounds throughout for 8 years. Wow. I buried myself in the house for 8 years.
Wow.
I just hid from everyone. Like anxiety, depression, and I went through changes. Like, of course, I have blood pressure.
Yeah.
And as the days, like gallstones or whatever, which that was misdiagnosed for a long time. So I went through a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And just isolation.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Wow.
Guilt. Insomnia. One day I didn't sleep for 3 months for one time.
What? No way.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
How were you able to parent your daughter and get through those traumas that you were dealing with within yourself?
Man, when I look back at it, at the things I had to overcome, and I'm saying it was bad. Like, I ain't got no shame. Like, before and afterwards, me finding out what's wrong with her, I had no income. So I was able to get like assistance for her, but it was just enough to keep the rent paid.
Okay.
So our electricity was cut off and our water was cut off. It was times I had to go to the gym and use my gym membership to take showers with my daughter at the gym because I refused to leave her side or whatever. So I wasn't going to leave her by herself and go to a work job, and I just had to hustle.
Yeah.
And always hustle. Then I had to drop some hustles. Yeah. So I was like the skin of my chin, but it was enough for me because I had to keep my daughter safe.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I totally agree. That meant the world to you, making sure that she wasn't put back in a situation like that. Is she better now? Like, as far as like being violent and being angry?
The
still anger
sometimes or whatever. She was past the hyper, sexual stage, and she said the reason for that, which a lot of people they like to a lot of people they look at girls or whatever, and they say, oh, they're promiscuous or whatever case may be. A lot of times, I guarantee you 85% of the time it's because of molestation.
Yeah.
And the reason why my daughter shared with me is because it was like a shower to her. She was rinsing him off of her.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. She felt like she didn't want to be known as the kid who, and it's a heavy burden. So it's just not something they was doing out of act. It just was like, this is a shower. Get this disgustingness off of me.
Yeah. Because along the line, they do feel disgusted that that happened to them. Disgusted. They do feel hurt and betrayed that they go through those things, and they don't really know how to express themselves, so they go look for it in other people.
Yeah, but my daughter, she's beautiful.
She
thought she was, and I'm like, no,
And it messed with her self-esteem and
self-esteem. And wow. She was a little bit Lady Ali, and she was a force to be reckoned with. Yeah. But she has all my good qualities though. Yeah. But she gotta let it shine.
She do.
And she does.
This is part of her purpose.
There. Yeah. It was baby steps, but she's becoming a new person. Yeah. And I see the little lessons I taught her shine through. Wow. In different type of ways. Right. So she definitely gonna be okay. Yeah. I'm constantly a fighter with her. Yeah. I'm Lady Ali. So we're gonna fight these battles.
Absolutely.
And I don't give up as a parent. Like we may argue, fight or whatever, but we always come back at one. Wow. Yeah.
The strength that it takes to share this type of awareness and be able to come out and say, okay, I felt like it was my fault, and just the hurt and the blame that we put on ourselves as parents, because we can't always monitor our children. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that you were able to find it within your heart to have some empathy and compassion for yourself as you understand certain things that happened in your life and with your daughter. How are you now mentally?
Mentally, I got my healing, and a lot of people would say that this is ironic. So a part of her anger was that he didn't get convicted or whatever. Family was very well off, so he had a team of lawyers.
Oh wow!
Yeah, a team.
Do you think she's like the first person he did that to?
No, I don't.
You think his family is covering up all the children?
Absolutely. I know that. I don't know if it was a numerous amount of kids. Yeah. But he has an aunt that he's very close with. And every time I would go to them like, hey, could you talk, try to get some assistance with the family. It was just like, we're not talking to you or whatever. But the night I called her and I said, this particular aunt, and I said, hey, I just want to tell you that my daughter just said, and I was in a frantic, and she said, this is the first time she actually spoke with me. She said, you have to be strong for your daughter right now. And I was like,
wow, that is terrible.
And the whole time they didn't like me, like, because it was, they didn't want him with me anyway, because I was in the project and he was Harvard University, Duke University. Yeah.
Okay. Judgmental.
Very.
But not judging the fact that he does this to children. Wow.
I don't even know man, it was so prevalent. I didn't even know. And it was so crazy. Like, I tell my friends or whatever, any woman, do not trust nobody around your kids. Yeah. Like, there's no watching your kid, watching my kid. Like, I'm going to be an advocate for everybody who don't know. But what's so ironic, man, so many women came out to me after that and was like, it happened to me. It happened to me. My inbox flooded because I went on Facebook Live because I want you to know. Because if we don't have a sex offender list to put you on, I'm going to make one. You see what I'm saying? So,
and we actually do. Story. Yeah. We actually do have one of those. Yeah. And you share your story, and a lot of women reached out to you.
Family members that I didn't even know, friends. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm like, how in the world is this happening to all these people? And it's just hushed up. And some of the people, they never spoke about it. And they were in their 50s, and they was just compelled to,
to reach out to you.
Yeah.
So do you feel like this situation has led you to like your purpose, your calling? Do you feel like your calling has something to do with help other women heal from these type of situations?
Yeah. I think the whole mental health the wellness part of it. Yeah. Wellness as I felt like, going back to my childhood, if my mom would have been a little stronger, or whatever case may be, but we only have that capacity or whatever, then I went through as much childhood trauma as I did. Yeah. She was a little stronger. So I have a thing about strong women.
Yes.
Strong, independent. I don't need a man. Like, I'm a woman, hear me roar type thing. Yeah. I like alpha females that has it all together. And we don't have it all figured out.
Right.
But we have the power to stand on our feet and say, I can do this.
Exactly.
And by myself. And anything that a man only can bonus to my life, because within myself, I'm complete.
Absolutely.
And it takes you a while to get there. And it definitely is going to take a lot of solitude. For to get you there. You have to sit down and listen to God or whatever higher power that you believe in, and really get to know yourself. You have to self-care. Neglecting yourself it will mess up your mental health.
Wow.
Because if you're looking,
that is some great advice for women who have gone through situations like this. Taking care of yourself is very important. And just learning the signs, the solitude. You do find a lot of answers and a lot of clarity within solitude. Do you feel like you taking a break from, being in a relationship for 10 years have helped you open up to be ready to love again? Or do you still feel afraid?
Actually, it's so crazy. I was scared. With this new person or whatever, and as I got older, like be more private. Or whatever.
Absolutely.
But
as you should.
But I don't want anybody to know, no face, no case. That type of situation, even though that wouldn't be that type of person. But I enjoy my privacy now. And I was scared. And I think, like, I call it my twin flame. Because we're like twin. And when they say when you find somebody soulmate, you gonna know. It's totally different from anything. It was like this guy had took my thoughts, my dreams, everything out of my head and like told them to him. So I'm constantly pulling away, like running away. Like I create issues to get out of this situation.
Sabotage.
Self-sabotage. I did. I sabotage everything. I would literally turn you off so you could leave me alone. It was that bad that because I was scared of things. But with this thing, it was just like a magnet. Like how you, what in the world? It was just like.
That's that twin flame
you have
energy
that
for
thing.
real.
And I'm like, and like all your goals are my goals and all. I never experienced that. It's something special. And I had to let go of myself to learn how to trust again. And it's time. 10 years. It's time. I had to learn. I do deserve to be happy.
You do. Absolutely.
A lot of people, they put themselves to the side. People like me, I'm selfless. So I'm always making other people happy because we cater to so many people that we forget about we neglect ourselves. And I forgot what song it is. It says you can give love, but you can't receive love. It's so unfamiliar to us. So it's foreign.
Right.
So it's just like,
especially being that you've been on your own since like 15. So it's always probably been that way for you when it came to love.
Even accepting compliments. When they were like, "Oh, you're so beautiful." I'm like, "Look, cut the crap." What you want?
Right.
Even the guy
get to the case.
What you need?
Right.
What you want? Tell me
right.
Let's be straight up. The guy that stole the Arab, he was an Indian. And he said, "Oh, you're so beautiful." I said, "What? You need a green card, sir? Let's just cut this off right now. Cut this crap." Like that.
Right.
So.
But you absolutely do deserve that. Deserve to be happy.
Everybody deserves that peace, and everybody deserves to be happy, and and then boundaries. You have to put boundaries on. Because I was the type of person, I will deal with people longer than what I should even be dealing with people. Look, let me tell you something. Don't be afraid to lose anybody but yourself. That's the only person that you'll be afraid of losing. Like, people come and go, and then people are in your life for seasons and reasons. And everything is a lesson. Or whatever. So I wouldn't, if I could take everything back, I would take away that portion. But even in that portion, you have to see the beauty in every situation that you went through. Because those tears gave me the strength to grow into the person I am today.
Wow.
And if I hadn't took that path, and that path wasn't paid for me, and even though it wasn't a good starting point.
Yeah.
But it is your testimony, your life. You can have a lot of people like it. I have so many, young women that are drawn to me or whatever. Just like, they see so much in me when you can't even see it in yourself.
Wow.
And I'm just being like authentically me, like my authentic self.
That's the best self.
And I'm easy going, easy to get along, and I want to see everyone win.
Yeah.
I'm not that type of person that's envious. I'm not gonna tell you that information because I don't want you to get ahead of me. I'm like, here's the information. Like, make somebody's life easier.
Absolutely.
That's my thing. I wanted to just make everybody's life just a little bit easier. So.
Yeah, you have a light to you, and this situation has definitely brought out a higher awareness of who you are and what you have to offer to the world. And we appreciate your strength, your courage to be able to speak about things like this, because as you said, you had women inboxing you 50 years old and never said anything about what happened to them, because it is something that you feel afraid of saying, because in all honesty, you don't want to get this person in trouble. And it's a lot of things that run through people's head.
It's a lot of things to run.
Yeah. Family turning against you and not believing you. It's a lot of things that could happen.
Be quiet.
Yeah.
They told us, it was a lot of things they told me, like they didn't want to get their moms in trouble. Then some people was like, they seen what I went through and they was like, see, that's why I ain't say nothing, because my mom would have went through that. And it's just when people don't say nothing. And I almost basically, man, I had a lot of experience within it. This happens more than what people think it happens.
Yeah, it does.
And
it does.
It definitely, and I want to be, totally honest.
Yeah.
This situation happened. It was more people that I found out. And my daughter, she was in juvenile a lot or whatever. And they put a gag order on the case, but it's very real. Sex trafficking and children thing. That children thing is very real.
It is. It very much is.
Very real. Very.
And what's a
real.
gag?
It was a situation where someone was being molested at a facility. My daughter was a sex trafficking thing. They were able to, work with the men were able to. It was co-ed or whatever, and and I reported it, and
oh my God,
it was swept up under the rug.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
And then the judge put a gag order on the case, and if you speak about it to the media or anybody, then you'll get, it was held internally. So
you mean to tell me something happened to my kid, you put a gag order out on it, I can't say nothing about it?
It wasn't my daughter. It was another little girl.
Another little girl.
But being that I was the one who reported it, it was wow.
This just shows right here that, like you said, more things are happening to these young girls than we can even imagine right now. I just want to say, if this has happened to you, or if you're currently going through it, say something. I know it sounds so scary to be able to reach out to someone and tell them what's going on, because it's going to be a lot of, it's going to open a whole nother world and a whole new portal. But the more you hold it in, you realize as you become an adult, you start bleeding and you don't heal from it properly. It takes a toll on you and your life because you never said anything to anyone. What would be your advice to a mom that is currently going through a situation like this with her child?
My advice is basically stay visual with your children. Don't get so consumed into work where you can't sit down and have a conversation. Establish trust between, because I told my daughter, look, let me tell you, if you ever tell me anything and you're not gonna get in trouble or whatever, if you tell me the truth and that stick. But he was able to overpower that, because I had that talk with my daughter. No touching, inappropriate touching and stuff like that. And I actually worked for the Boys and Girls Club, and I was a teacher of that. So I went through with my daughter. I was like, whatever she's going through, I'm going through it with her. And I was a teacher of the class, and it was happening. But it wasn't a consistent conversation. And we have to consistently keep talking and consistently. And also something that I didn't do that I know I could do is when they go to the doctor, please get the doctor to check them. Even if you don't think something's going on, get it to check them, because they will be able to tell if their, I think it was a libido has been broken or whatever, or they have been fondled with. Even with, and it is not just girls, it's boys too. Wow. It's boys too, because since then, actually, I had a lot of male friends of mine came out and told me they was molested too. Wow. And they're going through things as well. So it's just not women, is boys, young boys, young, and it's always somebody close to them. It's hardly never a stranger.
Wow. It's somebody in the house, in the family. Wow.
Yeah. And always it could be the father as well too. I had a lot of people come to me, and it was that actually biological father.
That is horrible to know that your father would take it as far as molesting you.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to share? I know you say you had something you wanted to bring awareness to, like mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. Your mental health, let me tell you the thing. I want to normalize it.
Yeah.
I know they have normalized so many things that was taboo back in the day, like the LGBT or whatever the case may be. But right now we're living in a mental health crisis.
Yeah.
It's not it's not a gun problem or whatever, because like they say, guns don't kill people, people kill problems.
Yeah.
You know, the things that we're going through is because the mental health. You know, if you look at a lot of counselors have counselors. You see what I'm saying? And doctors and all that stuff. When you in those high stressful job fields or whatever, like it really messes up your mental health.
Wow.
And the United States is built off pharmaceutical, so they're going to push drugs. And you know, I feel like a guinea pig. You know, they will guinea pig you.
Yeah, they definitely will.
They will guinea pig you, but you have to learn there's other alternative besides medication. And that's holistic.
Okay, holistic healing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
First of all, your mental health is on the right side of your brain.
Okay.
And you have a right side and you have a left side.
Yes.
Or whatever. They can't work at the same time. So your emotional side is your right side. That's where your emotions come from.
Okay.
Your educational side is your left side.
Okay.
They can't work at both sides. So when you feeling overwhelmed and emotional, you cut that off by turning the left side on. That's where crosswords puzzle comes in, reading, art, or whatever, therapeutic type things. So I wanted to get more. I started a nonprofit organization directed towards mental health, because that is the epidemic we was in a pandemic. At first, we're in a mental health pandemic because we basically is the world is in chaos right now. And they say spiritual warfare or whatever, and it is, but it was so crazy. Just ironic. Last night I was riding with my mom and my stepdad, and they was having a conversation about actually it's funny. And I'll be honest, we were talking about roaches. And you know, with every conversation, you know, I'd like the dialogue, and he said that it was funny, but it was so true. He said what I do is I've killed so many baby roaches.
Oh my God.
You know, they're not going to be able to coexist.
Yeah.
The future is gone.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening to us now.
Yeah. I agree.
The young people are getting killed.
Yeah.
So basically, it's so many young people getting killed. You hardly hear about old people even dying anymore.
Yeah.
Because the funeral homes are filled up with these young kids.
Wow.
So we're killing our future.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other things going on throughout the world, but how are we going to have a future with nobody to have a future with?
Exactly.
Because
because
everybody who's going to procreate,
and they're brainwashing,
not existent.
A lot of our young children, they're brainwashing.
Yeah.
And I 100% agree that mental health should be normalized. If you're going through things,
definitely
normalize it. Like, let's stop holding in when we're going through stuff, and then we're taking it out and we're shooting and we're killing other people, innocent people at that, because of things that we feel inside that we've held on to.
Yeah.
So this was beautiful. This brought a lot of awareness and light. And these are typically the type of moms that I'm looking for, the ones that can inspire and motivate and change somebody's life. So I do just want to thank you for having the courage to speak about what happened to you and your daughter. And we are praying that you make it through that. You come into, I'm pretty sure you already have, but you come into your full purpose that God has called you to do. Have you feel like you had a breakthrough?
Absolutely.
That's great. Can you speak on that?
I felt, being that I'm so close with God or whatever, right about 3 years ago. Now, if you got to be in tune with God. Personal relationship.
Personal
relationship. I know grandma and granddaddy told you, mom and daddy told you that, there's rules, but there's no rules. And you see, different scriptures that I agree with or whatever, but you also have to look at the chapters that were banned from the Bible. And why were they banned?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's when you start discovering a little bit more truth, and you start learning that things are not so much as what you thought they was.
Exactly.
It's pictures that's painted for us.
Yeah.
We're actually brainwashed.
Oh, to the max.
Yeah. Social media, everything is a distraction from what's really going on.
Yeah.
And until you come to that realization, when you center yourself and you have that personal relationship with God, you're going to start sitting around like, don't make no sense.
Yeah. For real. Like awakening. You like, oh, shit. This is different.
Yeah. you go to school, and let me say, like me, I was a nurse with phlebotomy, did CNA, MedTech, and you go to school and you learn the different rules. These are the rules. This is a regulation. You do this, you do that. After school, throw that book in the trash can, because you're gonna be doing everything outside your scope of practice. It's just an act.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't apply.
It doesn't. And nothing they teach us in school applies to real life. And when our children get out of school, they be so lost. They go right back into a school system. I'm not saying anything is wrong with going to college, but at some point you do have to realize, I have to discover myself. I have to discover what I'm here for, because I'm being distracted. Because college is great, but it's a lot of partying at college.
It's a lot.
Drinking, smoking. People have these fun stories of what they did in college.
Yeah, and I like looking at the scholars.
Yeah,
you can learn from the scholars.
Yeah,
like the real thing. And when people choose to homeschool their kids or whatever, we're not taught to. They don't school us on anything. It's all just Christopher Columbus and all that. That stuff is
who cares?
Yeah. So but in school, they don't teach the necessary things that we need to survive.
Yeah.
Especially, we don't learn according to our lifestyle. And poverty-stricken people, like, they don't teach us about finance in school or whatever, or struggling, and what you do in these programs that can help you or whatever, and that you actually have to go and research and find out things for yourself. And people would know that how life will be much easier if they were to sit down and start reading things, and you'll see how you will get out of poverty. Because a lot of people think, oh, she got money. No, I don't. What I do is I fight the free stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed. And you can't be ashamed to ask for help, because these people are giving you.
Yeah.
And they know that.
Right. You find your resources. Yeah. You utilize your resources. And that is everything. Smart.
Yeah.
That is so smart.
So when I heard stuff, like, share it with somebody, like, hey, did you know, and these things that I don't even, may not, need pertain to myself. Yeah. Some things I do it, but if I know that I'm an information person. So if I don't have enough, I will give all my money away. or whatever, and then I'm left broke, and that I would even give my bill money away to other people because I feel so bad. But I had to learn, I had to put boundaries on that.
Yeah.
And now I help people with information. So I'm still doing what I like to do, and it's not hurting me in the process.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, reading is fundamental.
Yes, we need to normalize reading, please, and not just Facebook statuses.
And the laws that comes out. The laws. And you got to push for certain things that you want. Absolutely. Or whatever. Push for certain laws. And a lot of laws are coming into play with mental health. If people pay attention, the mental health, a lot of laws have came into play.
Yeah, you definitely sent me an article about that. So thank you. I'm going to share that with people. I'm going to actually add it to this video. Yeah,
a lot of laws, a lot of good laws. I'm happy about it. Actually, if you look at the news or whatever, check out Newsbreak. They're very informative. But Vice President Kamala Harris, she just came out with a new thing. I think I sent you this. I don't know if I sent you that, but if so, I'll give you the link. Put it up. She's focusing more towards women's health now. Women's health, because it's so much targeted towards men, or whatever, and like the medications make for work for men, stuff like that. Wow. But I'm going towards the holistic approach, and like the holistic approach is basically we going back to I have a lot of Indian inside of India with me on both sides, but the things that they did. The real ancestors back in the day, before they created all this stuff.
You know what blows my mind? We have so many leaders that speak about holistic healing, like Dr. Sebi. We have Yaki Awaken. We have 19 Keys.
I love 19 Keys.
Yes. We have all of these great people trying to get us there. And yet here we are. Keep falling for the little trap that they put us in. And it's only hurting us more. Do your research. Listen to these people. Listen to them when they tell you stop eating certain things. Stop indulging in sugar. Stop, because all of this stuff messes with your brain. It really does. And that's where some of the mental health problems come in, because I tell my daughter all the time, you don't need no sugar today. You need to relax on the sugar. You had sugar yesterday. You have to focus on your mental health. And sometimes you can't indulge in sweets a lot. So we definitely have to put boundaries on the things that we eat to protect our mind. I would definitely say that.
Balance.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's a balance. It's a healthy balance. Not saying that, my daughter, she's in that era that she's into Bad versus Wild and Bad Girl things. And when you get so peace, I'd be like,
Yeah. Tell us where we can find you on social media so we can keep these updates, because
Jamisha CEO Seward. You can
on your Facebook.
Facebook.
Okay. Do you have an Instagram?
Instagram. I don't post so much on Instagram.
Okay. A TikTok?
No.
YouTube?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to be starting those things or whatever case it may be.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But I'll send people random things in their book. And people it's easier.
Thank you so much for spreading light on there. It definitely is a lot easier to live like that. And I know God is going to bless you so much for, whatever it is that you desire, your home, your land. And sis, you're going to be, you're going to pave the way for other people. Come join her live. So
hopefully somebody else can help someone. Don't be afraid to give the homeless people $1 at the corner.
Exactly.
To help them, or buy them food.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get that blessing. I mean, if God become a blessing to you, make sure you be a blessing to others. That's the first thing I do. When someone blesses me, I make sure I pay it forward.
Yeah.
And a lot of things we need to pay it forward.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right. I definitely want to thank you so much again. Like, I just can't say thank you enough for being able to share your story and your journey and some of the beautiful knowledge that you have and that you're ready to give out to the world. This was a big, big, brave step for you. And I know you shared your story before, but to be able to come on my platform and share that, I just want to say thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing I did that we did skip over with that, I forgave him.
Forgiveness.
Actually, I want to touch bases because a lot of people probably didn't know the outcome of that story or whatever, but my daughter always said, let God handle it. God said, give it to God. If anybody ever do it, give it to God. His daughter ended up actually calling me and telling me I found out he was dying. And and his brother had told me before, and I was just, whoa, that hit me, because I know they say God, let God handle it. And I told my daughter, and he handled it all right. So she was like, could you please go to the hospital? And nobody's there, because of course the family doesn't like me. And I love the kids so much. I went up there, and I didn't even drive. God guided me there, because I was like in another world. But I said I had to do this for this kid. So I went up there and I seen him. He looked like he was 90 years old.
Oh my
when
God.
I said life have, God fixed him. God fixed him.
Yeah, he definitely did.
And when I went up there, I started crying, because I felt sympathy for him. And my mom said that God have you praying for your enemies. Or whatever. And I looked at him and I just was like, whoa. Like, I would like for a finger to be broke, or maybe a leg.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I've killed him like a lot of times in my head. But actually, when you love someone, it just don't work like that.
Yeah.
So I love him as an individual, like a brother, whatever. Didn't want to be with him, wasn't in love. But I didn't want to see
him
that
like
type of pain happen to him or happen to his kids. Because she wanted their kids or whatever. And I looked at him and I said, I forgive you or whatever. And so ironic, he was ready to die. They was discussing pulling the plug on him. And he's young. And I'm like, whoa. And I went up there, and this the beauty of how God is, and he loves us unconditionally. I looked at him, he looked at me, his eyes was halfway open when he came. And he was ready to die.
Oh my God.
And he looked at me and I looked at him and I said, I need you to ask God to forgive you and ask him for a second chance. And I said, I'm going to God on your behalf and asking for a second chance for you too. I said, I forgive you. I said, my daughter, she's not there yet. But I said, I know she will get there one day. And I said, I love you, as a person. And I pray to God give you a second chance. And he was pulling up out the bed and all that stuff. And the lady came in because she wanted to know who I was. Because how was this man moving and trying to get up out his bed, you know? And the next day, her daughter called me and was like, he's up talking and all that. And guess what? That next morning, $10,000 dropped in my account.
Stop it.
I promise you not. $10,000.
Oh,
something I had been waiting for years. And at that time, I was homeless, and I was living with my mom, and I was ready to move to my new place that I am now, and $10,000.
Oh my
and
God.
That was that forgiveness. I unblocked my blessings.
Ooh. Wow, I got chills when you said that.
I unblocked my blessings.
Oh my God.
When I chose to forgive.
Ooh.
And I chose to give him the same grace that God gave me.
Wow.
My blessings were unblocked. Everything shot up.
Yo, that is beautiful.
Everything shot up for me. Yeah.
That is so beautiful to hear that. Yeah. Words just can't explain it. Like, wow.
It's phases that you go through forgiveness. I forgave him for what he did.
Yeah.
No, I forgave him for what he did. It was 3 steps.
Yeah.
I had to make peace with him for what he did, and forgive him for the aftermath of what he did.
Exactly.
And then I had to forgive myself.
Wow.
That was the last step.
Wow.
And it was a lightness that left off for me. It was like,
and you unblocked your blessings.
I unblocked my blessings.
Wow.
I unblocked my blessings. So when I say, I know I was blessed. Because I look back and was like, I had to worry you make it out of them situations. It was a lot of situations.
Yeah.
But when I choose to act like God, what they say, be more like God, and have a God, and forgive.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about I forgive, where I seen him and he looked back on Facebook with his daughter at the baby shower. And he had the baby. And I actually was happy for him. I was happy for his daughter. Or whatever. I was happy that he had the opportunity. And they say there's no healing for that, but I know because that ate him up. That ate him up till he almost died. Wow. And I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was literally dying. I was like, hold up, wait a minute, Lord, you can stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop it now, Lord. And he had enough.
And when God say he gonna show you what he gonna do to your enemies, he will show you that he will get them for you and put you in a position where you like, wow. Yeah.
And my daughter, she was so selfless. When I told her I was going, because everybody was like, your daughter gonna be so mad at you or whatever. And I was like, my daughter's not gonna be mad at me or whatever. So I called my daughter. I said, you know what? I told her, I said, I'm going up there to see him or whatever. I was like, I got peace. She was like, Mom, I understand that. I'm not there at this point. But she said, Mom, she said, I understand you need your closure. Wow. And that was my closure.
Wow. What a beautiful ending.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
So that's what happened to him. And, you know, I don't feel no.
That is.
It
was like I got chills. I wanted to cry. I wanted to smile. It is closure.
Man, it was. Yeah. It was. Man, it was a journey.
Yeah. I can only imagine.
8-9 years of
pain.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was to be happy for someone that hurt you. Shows just how big, a lot of people say I couldn't have did that.
Yeah, a lot of people would say that, but it hurts you more to not do that.
Yeah, to not do that, you hurt yourself and you block your blessing.
Yes,
because God said you have to forgive in order to be forgiven. And you know what? We have a lot of skeletons in our closet that we don't want to say. And like my pastor said, sometimes warm bodies. Yeah, they, not just skeletons, warm bodies. So, people sin in different ways.
Yeah, they do.
And it's God to judge or whatever. And, if it was, I'm good at what God, maybe God didn't want him to go to jail. Yeah. Maybe he had some extra for him.
Exactly. He had something different for him. Yeah. He had to show him.
Yeah, he had to show him.
Yeah. And maybe that helped him in a way to start his healing and his journey.
Yeah.
So
I really believe he helped because his whole image changed back.
Whoa.
It was something real. It was, I'm telling you, when you start seeing with that third eye, it's a lot of knowledge that comes along with that when you open that up.
That was beautiful. I'm going to cut it right here. But again, I want to thank you again so much. The ending of this was just amazing. Thanks for sharing your story. I'm going to link all your information so people can reach out to you if they have more questions. Are you open to people contacting you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm open to any resources I have. I'll share it or whatever, any articles I want to post that can help anybody out. Feel free to.
Well, awesome. I will make sure we put that on here. Thank you.